Hey everybody, welcome to Northern Thailand. Listen, today we're going to take a little walk around the garden and take a look at some projects that are going on, things that are going to be coming up in future videos. Also going to take a look at some of the trees that have been in the ground for the past few months, and through the powers of observation, keeping in line with permaculture practices, let's take a look at taking problems and coming up with solutions for those. Let's do it. So what we are looking at here is an unfortunate failed pot trial. I want you guys to see both successes and failures. And so what I'm showing you here is what was supposed to be a set of lychee trees that I was going to go ahead and try to test out some pots with in line with the AGU's fall of December 2014's conference, where they actually talked about mycorrhiza and biochar not really combining well together. This was what that was going to be for. We're still going to do that though, because I have 5 pots remaining where unfortunately I didn't have lychee tree sprout out of that I'm going to put some other plants into, and we'll take a look at those in the upcoming months here. But I did want to show you this because this is really cool. See this one here? That is multiple trees that have decided to come up out of one seed. Look at that. And these leaves have only recently turned green. They were actually kind of like a tan brown for the longest time. But that is 3 lychee trees from one pit, from one seed. Pretty interesting stuff. The other 2 here are just single trees that came up. I'm gonna let them go and eventually get them in the ground. You guys remember this little girl? You may remember from my very first video on my channel that I planted this little tree here, this Soursop tree, back in February of this year. Look at all the green growth of the weeds that have come up in this area. Remember how bare the ground was here? I remediated this whole area, but now I've got this beautiful green growth that's coming in. It's serving 2 functions. One, it's cleaning the soil because it's doing some bioremediation, but 2, it's providing a really nice living mulch for this tree. And look at her. Look how beautiful she is. Now, I've also been using these greens, all the weeds here, to start getting some worm food put together. That's another upcoming video that you're going to be seeing really soon in the bioremediation effort, is going to be worm bins. They're going to be processing through this green waste. But she is looking beautiful. Now, unfortunately, as you can see in the planter spot where this one avocado tree has been, I've just let the grass and the weeds go in this area. And the reason is because, again, there's water mimosa in here, which is providing a lot of nitrogen to this tree, but it's also starting to impair it a bit. You can see the branch on the right there. It's a lot lower. The reason is because water mimosa is beginning to tug at it and is starting to kind of haul it down a bit. Yep. Everything but the water mimosa will become worm food. And the reason is because of the spikes on the water mimosa. It's not something I think the worms would like to eat. Probably wouldn't feel really good on their skin. Let's see if we can get that to focus in. Maybe not. There we go. Yeah, those are not pleasant for worms. But it's pleasant for the ground and definitely providing a lot of nitrogen fixing for it. Same over here for the red mulberry. These weeds are almost as tall as these trees, and in some cases they are. But this is the first little girl here. She's doing fine. Her sister to the right of her, not so much. Let me show you what's going on there. Yeah, you can see one of the problems I've had is that we're in the rainy season right now, and it does not take long for this growth to just take over. That actually is a red mulberry tree in there. Right here. You can see the water mimosa, because of its spikes, it can take trees down, and that's what's happening here. So I've got to get in and I've got to get this pruned up and cleaned up. Now, Now here's the Soursops Sister. And this is where our powers of observation from permaculture really are going to come into effect. I'm going to show you something here. Very interesting stuff. When I first moved here, I brought some seeds with me from the United States. One of those seeds was a pack of Schwarzenbeeren Blackberries, which is an annual blackberry. Not anything like the traditional, blackberry bramble bushes that you see, but still a nice little pleasant blackberry. And can you see how those leaves are all just eaten up and chewed up? Those are the actual blackberry plants. They're just getting annihilated by thrips. That's what it looks like to me. Let's see if we can focus in here a little bit closer. Yeah, there you go. See that right there? That is most likely a thrip, but look at the leaves. I'm doing everything I can to save this variety because I really do like the plant, and the berry's not bad, but these plants are very hardy plants. They put down deep roots. They have done very, very well here, but they are really getting chewed up this year. So, what's interesting about that, look at these weeds that are also in the bed with it. Look at these. Not a mark on them. Not a single mark on these weeds. So what this tells me is two things. The native weeds here in this bed for this tree don't have any problems putting out some type of signal or chemical reaction to the pests in the area, while my blackberries, which are from the United States, are not faring so well. I mean, just look at that. Annihilated the plants. Really bad. It's not hard for me to find the blackberries in here. They're the ones that are all chewed up. But these weeds, not a mark on them. So what that tells me is I can make, and this is one of the reasons why both permaculture and natural farming are so important together. What I can do is I can make some natural farming inputs that I think will eventually help me out, and more importantly help out the plants by protecting them with the hormones that are necessary and some of the nutrients that are necessary to keep these thrips from attacking them. So that's what I'm going to be looking to do next. Now, lastly, some of you may remember that I used to have a jackfruit tree right over there. Now all I've got is about a 500-pound log and a stump. They unfortunately took my jackfruit tree down, which is just one of the things that happens when you're a foreigner in a foreign country and you don't speak the native language. You get lost in translation. So, not to get too down about it, what did I do? I started making compost out of it. This pile has now been going since probably about February of 2021 here, and it doesn't look like much, but let me tell you something. It's a fungal pile. You don't flip these. You pile them up. You give them a haircut from time to time if you have things that are starting to protrude out, like branches, or as you can see, some of these palm fronds from the bamboo palms. And then you just cover it with the tarp and you let it go. I've had the tarp off since about mid-June just to get a lot of air and water because we had a ton of rain that came through. And I thought, you know what, this would be a good time just to get a good drench on the pile and then cover it back up again. I usually give it water about once a month, but you just let these piles go. And what you'll have in a few months is beautiful, beautiful compost at the bottom of this thing. So another project that's going to be coming up is me actually demonstrating that for you, in addition to a lot of the other things that I've got going on here in the garden. But I wanted to give you guys a quick update because I know I hadn't had anything out in a couple weeks. And there definitely is stuff in the works. We've got some remediation work that's getting ready to happen. We've got a worm bin that's being designed. Worm food that is actually being made right now from all this beautiful green growth in this bed. And seeds that are on the way. Indian mustard and white mustard seeds, which I'm going to specifically use for remediation on this property. So there's a lot in the works, but I wanted to give you guys just a quick update. Hope you guys are doing well. And, well, wherever you are in the world today, I wish you a good evening. And until next time, take care. Bye for now.